Derek Carr on the Saints' goals following new coaching hire. Quote, "We just want to win." Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day after the day before. What a win. What a time to be alive for a Saints fan. I hope you celebrated. I know I did. I hope you enjoyed yourself on Sunday. Coming out of a Saints game with a win for the first time in 8 tries. Whew, man, it was nothing but jubilation in the Superdome. And we're going to listen to Derek Carr on the field with Fox's own Pam Oliver. Let's go ahead and take a listen. But first, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, I just want to give a shout out. Dian Zen restaurant in New Orleans, the best Chinese food in New Orleans. If you're ever there, right off Royal Street, this is what I was eating to celebrate the victory. You can see some dumplings, jiao long bao, 2 orders, because why not? And then Szechuan beef. This absolutely scorching, fiery bowl here had 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 chili icons next to it on the menu, which means it is hot as hell. I can go ahead and testify, hot as hell. The GERD and the Pepto-Bismol has been out of control today. So shout out Dian Zen. Again, if you're ever in New Orleans, people ask me all the time, James, I'm coming to New Orleans. Where should I eat? What should I do? If you are in the mood for Chinese food, authentic AF, this is it right here. So let's go ahead and get on into the interview. Boom.
What a week. Emotional, all sorts of things must be going through your head, but finish was the word that I got from Coach Rizzi at the half, and you did that.
Yeah, absolutely. We just want to win. Our city deserves a winner, and that's all we want to do. So shout out to DA because he helped us build this. I know he wasn't here today.
All right, this is the big reason why I wanted to watch this, because I had heard Derek. We got the sirens already. It's a Monday. What's going on here? Because I had heard Derek thank DA, and I mean, I don't want to I know it's one of those things where it's a comment, and it is what it is. And Derek and DA are friends, and DA drafted Derek, and then DA brought Derek to New Orleans. But man, such a weird thing to say. Read the room. Hey, here's a little pro tip, ladies and gentlemen. If you and your new girlfriend go somewhere, don't talk about your ex-girlfriend. Keep that inside, right? Keep that internal. Keep that in your dome. You don't have to say it. So, weird thing to say. I don't think in the grand scheme of things it's that big of a deal, but it is man, everyone's so fired up and about Rizzi and this new kind of the new coach bump or whatever, and I'm sure the locker room is fired up, and all this is going to do is hurt Derek when it comes to the locker room. It's just going to hurt, his standings with the players. And we talked about it before the game where Derek is in a very weird space. He's in a very weird area with the Saints because he was brought in as Dennis Allen's, basically his last chance, his Hail Mary to save his job. He was brought in last year, tumultuous. We've seen what's happened on Twitter with Michael Thomas. We've seen last year Chris Olave and Eric McCoy and Carr kind of going at it. This year with Olave's injury and, like I said, Michael Thomas. And, there's kind of been this weird tumultuous thing with Carr in the locker room. I got a sneaky feeling this is the last thing those players want to hear. The last thing these players want to hear after a game like this where finally you get it off your back. Finally you snap the losing streak. And you got your quarterback still kind of holding on to the guy who everyone hates. So I know it's from a good place. I know Derek's a good person. I know Derek, likes Dennis, but I think if he could do this over again, he would probably keep this one himself.
And I know Rizzi will say the same thing. Shout out to DA because he helped build, paved the way for us. And so, DA, we love you, but I'm happy for Riz too. That's his first win. And hopefully that gets us back on track.
Yeah, to stop the bleeding finally after all those losses. How do you guys build?
We just got to keep doing the right thing. When you do the right thing over and over again, it usually leads to good results. We've been trying to do the right thing all year, and the results just haven't been there every time. But hopefully we just have done it long enough the right way, and hopefully we can build on it.
Derek, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's weird, too, because, I was reading the Saints subreddit, which is always a dangerous place to be. Also, shout out to this guy in the back. His shoulders. Can you imagine the delt strength this guy has? Just hold the microphone straight up like that. I mean, just overhead like it's nothing. Shout out to that guy. But I was reading the Saints subreddit, and there was a lot of talk of like, what do we do now? What's the path to the playoffs? What's, if this and this happens, what's the playoff calculator? Like all that stuff. In the situation that the Saints are in, it is one day at a time. It is one game at a time. It is every game is your Super Bowl. And it's you can't worry about stringing together 7 wins in a row. You got to worry about stringing together one win and then another win and then another win. So that's what's going to happen with the Saints, and it all starts again next week.
So thank you. God bless y'all.
You guys finally do it. You stop the bleeding. That big old smile with the pick on Kirk Cousins. Walk us through that. How did that unfold?
Man, they ran that route a couple times throughout the game. We was in a different coverage. I couldn't really leave my spot. That was a perfect time. We was in the red zone. I knew that wasn't any deeper route, so just being aggressive, trying to make a play.
You look like a kid at Christmas right now. The team has been through a lot. Obviously, we chronicled the week. How do you guys take this and do something with it?
Man, I'm just proud of our team. I'm proud of our new coach. He really set the tempo. He came with some good energy. He found a way to motivate us, and I think as a team, we just found a way to finish. We've been in these situations really all season.
That's the truth. I mean, the Saints have been in this exact same situation over and over and over and over again this year, and it's going against them. And it shows you, like, it is, even as much jubilation, as much as I enjoyed the win yesterday, and it was fun to be there and finally see a win and all that stuff, but it is hard not to reflect and say, like, damn, man, like, think about how different things could have been. Even just Carolina. Even if we just beat Carolina in a game that we absolutely should have won, even if we just win that game, we're right there. Like, there's some stuff that can happen. It's kind of stacked up against us. It's not, we're not eliminated mathematically, but man, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Carolina, any of those games that, no doubt about it, could have been wins, should have been wins in some situations. You flip one of those games, everything's right there for us. So it's unfortunate that so many coin flips went against the Saints, but it does feel good to get one. And, Pam's kind of asked Tyrann and Derek the same question, like, what do you do now? Like, how do you string this together? How do you go on a winning streak? And what does that mean for your season? And, Tyrann's right, where it's just like, you got to kind of enjoy the game. You got to kind of enjoy the day. You got to enjoy this win, and then find a way to motivate yourself, find a way to get back at it, today. Enjoy it for 24 hours, like Cam Jordan says, and then get right back at it because you got the Cleveland Browns coming to town in a very winnable game. So it's like you cannot see the finish line right now because the finish line is so fluid. You need so many other things to happen. You need other teams to lose. You need certain teams to win. You have to keep winning. Just give yourself a chance to be in like a tiebreaker situation. So you can't even see the finish line. So all you can do is look at the opponent in front of you. And for the Saints right now, that opponent is the Cleveland Browns. And that opponent is Jameis Winston coming to the Superdome. It's crazy when you think about the Saints. Bryce Young ended up starting for Carolina, but the Saints could have easily, in one season, faced Sean Payton, could have faced Jameis Winston, could have faced Andy Dalton, could have faced the Raiders for Derek Carr's former team. Like, so much is happening. So many storylines with the Saints this season. Insane.
And we haven't been able to finish. We used to drop those intercepts, so it was a good thing I caught it today.
Yes.
36, yes. I hear.
36. 4 more to go.
All right.
Yeah, 40. Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Congratulations on this.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it.
There you go. Good stuff. Feels good to win. Happy for these guys. It can't be fun. It cannot be fun coming to work every single day for 7 or for 8 weeks if you count this one. For 8 weeks. And you're hearing everything from the fans and on social media. Your coach is getting fired. You're traveling all across the country. Games coming down to the wire, and you just can't get there. There's injuries and whatnot, and just a real, a lot of circumstances where it's just unfortunate, no doubt about it. But it's good to see the win. And man, it felt like we were going to let another one slip, didn't it? It felt like this was the same thing, where it felt like when Kamara dropped that pass, it was like, no way. no way is this about to happen. You know, when he dropped that, you're sitting there and you're thinking, we've been here before. We're up 3. We're giving Atlanta the ball. What are you going to do? So it's good to see one get through the hoop, and finally got through the hoop. So good for sure. Good that it happened against the Falcons. And part of me does kind of sit here and say, like, man, if we just had one more win, if we would have beat Atlanta at Atlanta and we would have had the sweep on them, we'd be in a great situation. If we would have beat Carolina, I mean, imagine if we would have beat Carolina and beat Atlanta at Atlanta, the situation we'd be sitting in right now. Like, it's just such a different season, and that is the NFL. You know, the NFL is a game of inches every single week. It is so razor thin, and whether it's injuries or whether it was Dennis Allen or whether it was situational stuff or whatever. But, I mean, you could make an argument that it's really not even an argument, but you can make an argument that the Saints season completely hinged on a 4th and 1 decision to punt against Carolina and a 58-yard field goal that Atlanta made. Like, it's crazy to think of the whole season, the whole offseason, roster moves, trades, signings, all that. And it comes down to a 3rd and 16, a 58-yard field goal, a 4th and 1 decision. And that's the difference in potentially a division championship, potentially 10 wins, potentially a playoff game, and being on a 7-game losing streak. So that's the NFL for you. But let me know in the comments below what you thought about this. What you thought about Derek mentioning Dennis Allen. Did that kind of throw you off, or do you think it was just not a big deal? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.